Hi, in this video we're gonna learn how to build a real-time application using Laravel 11 and Vue free. Before we go any further, I'm gonna give you a quick demo of our app. I'm gonna show you how it actually works. Right here, our app has 3 pages. The dashboard page, where we can display the analytics of a single project. Right here, you can see we got also the projects page, where we can display a list of created projects. We can search for the projects, we can edit the projects, we can pin a project that we want to see its analytics on the dashboard, but also we can view details of a project. Right here, I'm gonna click on this project, Cloud Computing Web Service. We can see right here we got a page where we can display task. Right here, you can see we can move a task to pending from completed. Right here also we can create a task. Right here we have our members page, and then we can attribute a member to a task. And right here we got the members page. Right here we can see a list of created members. Right here we can create also a member, and then we can later on attribute this member to a project. Now let me first log out, and then I'm gonna get back into the system and show you how it works in real time. Right here first we got the login page of our app. The user have to provide his email and password so that they're going to redirect him to the dashboard menu. And right here guys, we have the register page. Right here the user has to provide email and password, and then is going to create an account within the system. But first of all, I'm going to create a user. I'm going to pass here isaacdoe20@gmail.com, and then I'm going to register this user. They're going to send him an email verification. We are going to learn how to do email verification by using Q and cron job. Right here you can see we just got the email right here, and then I can verify this email. You can see our email is isaacdoe20@gmail.com, and then I'm gonna click on check my email, and right here they're going to verify our user email, and then right here I'm gonna use this email and pass here isaacdoe20@gmail.com, and then I'm like logging within the system. Yeah, you can see guys, we're on the dashboard page. And then guys, I'm gonna open another window right here. Let me open another new incognito window. And then right here guys, I'm gonna log in a user. Let me log in this user, and then I'm gonna show you how our app actually works in real time. Right here you can see we're on the dashboard. And then right here guys, let me open another window. Let me do this. You can see right here we just got 2 windows. This is the first one, the second one right here. And I'm gonna get into the project page. And right here, I'm gonna try to create a project. You can see right now we got 9 projects. And then I'm passing another second project, X app. This is the name of our project, X. It is going to be a school system. It is a project. And then I'm gonna specify the starting date, 2023, and the ending date, 30. And then right here, I'm gonna click on create project on this button. You can see right now, right here, it changed. It was 9, it changed automatically in real time. And right here, if I get into the project page right here, you can see if I want to see the details of a single project. Right here, you can see the dashboard. Let me move to these projects. You can see the project that we pin on the dashboard is Cloud Computing Web Service. I'm gonna click on the view to see the details of these projects. Right here, I need to change right here. Let me do this. Let me increase the window. Right here, you can see that we got on this project, we got a 1 task, which is here, right here, and two tasks which are pending. Right here, you can see work on design, make API specification. These 2 tasks are pending, but also we got other 2 tasks which are completed. Right here, you can see. Now, right here, I'm gonna move our window right here so that you can see. I'm gonna try to move to this task right here, work on design to complete it. And then I'm gonna move it right here. You can see that right here, the analytics, it is going to change. Right here, it was in 50%, it turns in 71.4%. Let me remove this task, work on infrastructure. I'm gonna move it to completed on pending. Let's see right here, you can see guys, it changed again. Let's see the status. Right here, we got 57.1%. And right here, you can see we got 4 tasks which are completed and 2 are pending. So you can see right here, we got 2 tasks which are pending. and so on, guys. This is how it works in real time. But also we can add tasks to a project. Right here, I'm gonna create a new task. I'm gonna say right here, fix a bug in API. And right here, I can search for a member. I'm gonna select a member. I can select even right 1, 2, 3, and I can remove a member. You can see right now, I can search, I can pass here Isaac. You can see right here, got Isaac the king. We can search for a member, and then we are going to attribute a task. Yeah, you can see right now we got our task right here, fix a bug in API. But also we got our users. We got right here the name of the user, which starting with an S, an E, and an L. 3 SNEs. And then I can move this task to fix a bug to pending. You can see right here the status is changing automatically. Yeah, you can see right here. Yeah, if I refresh, you're going to see right here our task, it is changed. Make API specification. Fix a bug in API, I can move it to pending. Right here, I'm gonna pass it right there, and so on. And here you can see we got another task, test CRM app. I can move it to pending. And so on, guys. We are going to learn a ton really, guys. We are going to learn how to do all of that using Laravel 11 and Vue. This is our app. Our app, it is powered in Laravel 11, and right here you can see we got TS files. We are going to use Vue plus TypeScript. We are going to use Pioneer for state management. We are going to learn also how to construct complex API, guys. You're going to learn how to construct complex API, guys. But also we are going to use MySQL for our database. You can see right here, this is our task app, and this is our database. Yeah. Alright, guys, if you follow along this video, these are the benefits that you're gonna get. You're going to learn how to build complex API in Laravel. You're going to learn Laravel events, queue, and jobs. You're going to learn how they actually works in Laravel. If you haven't already understand events, queue, and jobs, how it actually works in Laravel, this video is for you guys. You're going to learn how to use them in practice. You're going to learn the interaction between Laravel Echo and a Vue-free app. You're going to learn how to integrate a Vue-free plus TypeScript projects into Laravel 11. You're going to learn how to build complex Vue components, but also you're going to level up your skills. These are tech stack that we're going to use throughout this video. You're going to use Vue for the UI, TypeScript for detecting typing errors, Pioneer for state management, and Laravel for building our backend. Laravel Echo for integrating WebSockets into our app so that we can get a real-time functionality within it. But also, guys, this is the roadmap that we're going to follow in order to build this app. You're going to understand first the database structure, creating models and migration, and then we're going to move to the API specification, API development. We are going to integrating our Vue plus TypeScript project into Laravel 11 projects. We are going to design the UI, and then we're going to integrate our API into our Vue-free app. And then we are going to conclude, and then I'm waiting for your thoughts about the upcoming video. After this video, I'd like your thoughts, your idea for the upcoming video. And guys, also, what are the prerequisites in order to follow along this video? You need to have an intermediate level of Vue plus TypeScript. You need to have an intermediate level of TypeScript. You need to understand composable in Vue, design how to design components, and you have to know how to work with API. Guys, I got a full course about Vue. I'm going to put the link down in description for that, but also for TypeScript, I got a full course. I'm going to put down the link in description, guys. Now, let's get started. Now, guys, in order to get started developing our API, we need to install some tools within our computer. The first tool that we need to install is XAMPP, and right here it is a PHP version of 8.2.12. Because Laravel 11 project supports a PHP version of 8.2.11. I'm going to put the link down in description for that. Let me show you the PHP version that you're going to download. you're going to download this PHP, this exam version. I'm gonna put down the link in description. But also, guys, we need to install another tool, Composer. You have to install Composer, but also we are going to download a Laravel installer. You're going to type Composer global require Laravel /installer. And then if I get into my command prompt, guys, you're going to see if I type php-v, you can see my version, PHP, I'm not past type here Composer. You need also to have a package manager, Composer. It is a package manager for PHP, but also you need to have Laravel installer. Once you finish installing Laravel installer, you're going to type this command. You can see right here, in order to install first Laravel installer, you're going to type this command, Composer global require Laravel /installer. And then, guys, you're going to type this command, Laravel new. Once you type this command, they're going to prompt you to enter the project, to enter the name of your project. I'm gonna pass here X app. This is the name of my project, X app. And then they're going to prompt you, they're going to ask you another question. Would you like to install a starter kit? I'm gonna pass here none. And then you're going to continue the step. You're going to continue the step, and then you're going to install a Laravel 11 projects. Once you finish installing a Laravel 11 projects, you're going to see these projects right here. It looks like this. But also, you're going to see that within the roots, you doesn't have the API. And in order to set up the API file, you need to type another command. This is the command, guys. You're going to type this command, php artisan install API. This is the command. Yeah, this command set up Laravel Sanctum for authentication and securing our API, but also it is going to creating an API.php file. After that, we need also to install maildev for testing email locally. Right here, you can see this is the command. You're going to type npm install-g maildev, and then if I type within my command prompt, you're going to see I got it. Maildev right here, and it is running on the port 1080. If I type within the browser, you can see right here I got maildev. It is working pretty well. And to install it, you're going to type this command, npm install-g maildev. But also you have to make sure you got Node. This is my Node version right here, guys. And after that, guys, we're ready to go. Now we're ready to developing our API. I think it is clear. You need to follow all these steps right here, guys. If you got these two, now you can jump this step. Now, guys, before we move to the API specification, we need to take a little look at our database structure. We need to understand the database of the app, the database structure of the app that we're going to build. And here, you guys can see we got a bunch of tables, and you got felt jobs, cache log, sections. These are the tables that came by default when we install a brand new Laravel 11 project. You can see right here we got job batches. We are going to use this table when we are going to work with background jobs and queues. Now we're going to focus a lot on these 6 tables right here. You got users table. You're going to use it for authentication. It is ID, name, email. It's valid email fields. It is going to have a status of 0 and 1, but also it has password. We got the project table. It is an ID, name, status, start date, end date, and the Slack field. We are going to use the Slack field to see the details of a single project. But also a project has task. Here we got a table task right here. It is ID, project ID, name, status. The status can be pending or completed for the task. But also a task can have members. You can see right here, we got a table, members. It is ID, name, email, and image. And we got task members table. We're going to use this table to attribute a task to a member. Right here, it is a project ID, task ID, member ID. But also we got another table right here. It is task progress. The task progress, we are going to store in the progress of a single project. Let's say a project has 5 tasks and we already completed 4. And for the progress field, it is going to be 80%. But also we got the pinned on dashboard. Once we pinned a project, we change the status right here. It's going to be 0 or 1. If we pass it 1, it is going to be pinned on the dashboard. And then you can see the analytics of these single projects. It is the task projects table, it is ID, project ID, pinned on dashboard. It is going to have two values, 0 and 1. Progress, where we're going to store the percentage of a single progress, the progress of a single project. But also we got a personal access tokens table. We're going to use it when we just generate a token for a user. Alright guys, we already learned how to install a brand new Laravel 11 project. Right here you can see I've already installed mine. The project is real-time app, and right here in previous parts we learned how to do that by installing Laravel installer. If I type Laravel no, and then I can get started installing my Laravel projects. And right here, the first things I'm not do, I'm not get started my save. I'm type PHP artisan serve. And then right here, my app, it is going to get started. Right here, I'm going to get this brand new landing page provided by Laravel 11 projects. And right here, you can see we got the env file where we need to pass our database name right here. If I pass a bad name of a database, we're going to get an error within the browser. It can be in your case. Once you pass a bad name of database, you're going to get this error at the first time. And then once you're going to provide a good name of a database which exists, the error, it is going to disappear. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into my and then right here, I'm gonna create database view time app. This is going to be the name of our database, and then I'm gonna click on create. After that, I need to pass here the name of our database to this DB database variable right there. And the next thing, we have to take a look at our API specification. You can see right here, we got the user model. It is going to deal with the authentication and registration. We're going to deal first with the register endpoints. For the request body, it is email password, but also it is other fields like is valid email. We're going to use this field for verification purpose of the email because we're going to use mail dev for that. But also we got password, remember token. Yeah, this, I'm gonna remove it. We got two fields, is valid email, remember token. Field, we are going to use it for verification purpose again. Now for the response body, we are going to get back the message, and we're going to say that user created and the status of 200. But also we got another endpoint that we're gonna work on later on. Now let's get in the database folder. Right here within this project, right here, we got the database folder. And we got the migration, we got the create user migration right here. You can see it is the name, email, and other fields. For the name, we're going to pass it nullable. We're going to say that it is going to be nullable because we are not going to insert in with this column. It is going to stay null, but also we need to add another field like here. I'm going to pass here table, and then it is going to be type of integer, and I'll say is valid email. And then it is going to have two values, 0 and 1. 0 means the email it is invalid, 1 means the email is valid. I'm gonna get into within the app folder. Yeah, within the app folder, you can see we got the models folder, and within the models folder is where we are going to put all our models. And right here, you can see that we run within the use model. And here I'm gonna create two variables right here, two constants. The first constant is going to be is valid, and pass here is valid email like this. I'm gonna assign it to 1, and then I'm gonna create a second constant, const is invalid email, and I'm gonna assign it to 0 because if the user email, when we are going to create the user, we are going to use this constant is invalid email. It is going to be assigned to 0. But also you can see protected fillable property right here. We are going to comment the name because we're not going to insert in within the name, email, password. For protected hidden, we need also the remember token. It is not going to be hidden. But for the password, we're going to say like this. Now we need to do other things. We need to do migration. PHP artisan migrate like this, guys. And then we are going to migrate all our tables. And the next thing we have to do, we have to create a controller. I'm typing right here, PHP artisan make controller. I'm gonna pass here of controller like this. and then we're going to get a controller within the controllers folder. Right here you can see we got the off controller, and then right here we're going to create in our first method, and then right here we're going to say public function register like this. It is going to take the request, and also we are going to use other classes to make validation. I've prepared something right here. I'm not import this, and then I'm not explaining you how it works. Right here guys, you can see we just import the validator class to validate our inputs. We just import the hash class in order to hash the user password, but also we are going to use the DB query builder. Yeah, but also we are going to use this string right here, the string class, in order to generate a random string. And right here, the first thing we have to do, we have to request the user fields. We're going to pass here fields, and then we're going to use the request variable that's all, and then we're going to make validators. We're going to do errors that we're going to use validator that, and then we're going to pass here make, and then we're going to pass here first our fields, and then we're going to pass it an array. And then here within this array we need to specify required property inputs that we need to validate. You're going to pass in the email. You're going to pass here email. You're going to say it is going to be required, but also we need to pass also the password. It is going to be required to password, and then we can say for the minimum it is going to be 6, and for the maximum we're going to pass here max. Say maximum is going to be A for the password. Yeah, that's it. And then we need to check if the validation fails. We're going to do if errors that fails. We got the fails method, and then we're going to return a response. Return response errors. It is going to be return that's O like this, that's errors, and then right here we're going to pass here that's O, and then we're going to pass it a status of 422, which means unprocessable entity. This status means unprocessable entity. We cannot process this operation if the email password it is invalid. And then guys, right here I need to check also that here I need to pass here email, it is going to be valid, but also we need to pass here, we need to insert our inputs. You can see right here we haven't yet import the user model. Right here you can see we have our model, it is under the models folder. Right here we are going to import it and pass here this, and then I'm gonna pass here user, and right here we need to use our model. And here guys we're going to use the create method and pass here user like this, and pass here create, and within the create function we are going to pass in the email of the user. We're going to pass here email, and then we are going to get access to the email. In the fields we're going to pass here email, but also we need to pass it the password. For the password we are going to use bcrypt to encrypt the password, bcrypt like this. And then we need also to pass here another field is valid email. And then right here if we get into the user model, you can see we have a variable right here is invalid email. We got a constant, and then we're going to use this constant. We're going to assign it right here. We're going to pass here user, and as it is a constant we are going to use the user class, and then we're going to pass this variable is invalid email. And then we got also another field, remember token. We're gonna pass here remember token like this, and then we're going to pass here a random string. Got a little function right here, generate random code, and I'm gonna pass it right there. And then right here guys we are going to call our function generate random code. For the response we are going to send a message. We're going to pass here message. We're going to say user created. Now it's time to check if this endpoint it is working pretty well. Now we are going to get into the API.php file. Right here we need to import this model first. We are going to get into the API.php file. We are going to get into the roots folder and API.php file. Right here, I'm going to comment all of that. And then I'm going to import this model right here. I'm going to add this slash right here, pass here the off controller. And then right here, we're going to use the post HTTP verb in order to insert data. And that's pretty much it, guys. Now we need to test this endpoint. We're going to use Postman. Right here, I got Postman. First of all, we need to get started our server by typing php artisan serve command. And then we're going to get into the Postman for testing our endpoint. I'm going to hit send to see if the validation, it is working pretty well. Yeah, you can see right here, we got the email field is required and the password field is required. Now we need to send now the name and email. Right here, we are going to pass here for this input, we're going to pass here email, and here we're going to pass here the password. And pass here the password, and then I'm gonna send again, and then we are going to get another error. The email field must be a valid email. The password field must not be greater than 8 characters. I'm gonna pass here this password. Let me pass this. And for the email, I'm going to pass here ben@gmail.com. And then we're going to send that to the server. And then we are going to get this message. Yeah, you can see we're getting an error. You can see right here is invalid, doesn't have a default value. You can see we haven't yet passed is invalid field to the protected fieldable. Right here, you can see within the user model, we got protected fieldable right here. Let me show you. We got protected fillable, and then I'm gonna add these fields right here because we are sending we need to fill it. We're going to pass protected fillable, but also we are going to pass their remember token because we pass in data right here, remember token, and then we are going to send the data right here. I'm gonna hit send again, and then we are going to create a user. You can see right here you're getting a message, user created. Now guys, as we finish creating a user, it's time to validate his email. We're going to use MailDev for that. And right here, if you haven't already installed MailDev, you're going to type this npm install-g to install it globally, but also you're going to pass here MailDev like this. Once you just install MailDev, you need to type MailDev like this in order to start the MailDev server. You can see mine, it is running on the port 1080. And I'm not getting to the browser. You can see here, I can refresh localhost 1080 port, and it is running. And then the next thing we have to do, we are going to create a mail file. We're going to type php artisan make mail, and then we're going to pass here the send mail file. We're going to send an email for the user. And we're going to get into the app folder. You can see we got another folder, mail. And if we create another mail, it is going to be situated within the mail folder. And right here, you can see within the send mail class, it extends mailable class. Yeah. And then here you can see we got a constructor. For the constructor, we need to pass it the data that our send mail class it is going to take. And we're going to pass it the data, it is going to be the user, public user. The data is going to be the user, the data of created user. We're going to pass the user. But also, I'm going to pass here the user, and then I'm going to say the data, the property, it is going to be a type of user, and then I'm going to import that. I'm going to pass here this. I'm going to import this class. I'm going to pass here use, and then right here, I'm going to pass models, and then use. And right here, so that it can be clear, and then I'm going to initialize this input and pass here this user, and then I'm going to assign it the user property. You can see right here, we got another function, envelope, public function envelope. It returns a class of envelope. And right here, it takes, if we over the envelope class, it is a bunch of property parameter that we need to pass it with. But also, we are not going to use all of them, but I'm not use the from. The from parameter is going to take the envelope, the address class. And we are going to pass it new address class, which is a class from the mailable class. And then right here, I'm gonna import it from Illuminate mailable class. I'm gonna pass it right here. And here, guys, you can see when we over the address class, it takes two parameter. The address is someone who is sending the email, and it our app. It is our app who's sending the email. I'm gonna pass here admin@gmail.com like this, but also we are going to pass it the name of our app, and pass it task app. This is the someone who's sending the email. It is our app, But also you can see we got another function, content. We need to pass it the content that we need to send to our user. Here you can see we need to pass a view, and I'm not getting to first the resource folder within the views folder. I'm not creating an email file in an email folder, and then I'm not creating a file email verification that's blade.php like this, and then I'm pasting a boilerplate of an HTML file. And here guys, if we get back within these files, send mail, you're going to see right here we need to pass here the email, the folder, because it is going to get into the views folder, and then we're going to pass it the email verification blade.php file, right, like this. But also if we over the content, it takes data. You can see it takes an array of data. It can take also text. We are going to pass it an array, and right here we are going to do this with, it is going to be second parameter, and then we're going to pass here an array. It is going to be user. Let me pass here user, and then we're going to do this, that's user right there, like this, yeah, like that. And then here guys, we need also to create an event that is going to listen. When we create a user, it is going to listen for that, and it is going to send automatically an email to the user. We are going to create first an event, php artisan make event, and then we are going to say new. We are going to pass this event, the name of the event that we want to create, new user created. It is going to be the event. It is going to be stored within the event folder, but also we need to create a listener for that event. It's use observer pattern. When we are going to call this event new user created, the listener is going to listen for that event, and then it is going to send an email to the user. That's how it is going to work. And then here I'm going to create a listener, php artisan make listener, and then I'm going to say send email verification like this, and then they're going to create listener file. We're going to get into first the event folder. Right here, we got the event folder. We're going to pass it data. And the data that we need to pass it is going to be the user. I'm going to create a variable right here, public user. And then I'm going to initialize this property. I'm going to say this that user. I'm going to pass it to the constructor. Let me pass here the user. We need to initialize it. And then you can see right here, we got another function, broadcast on. We are going to learn how to use it later on when we are going to integrate Laravel Echo within our app. Right here, guys, I'm not getting to first the listener. Within the listener folder, you can see listener. We got the listener. The listener file, send email verification, it is going to be listen for that event. If that event occurs, it is going to send an email to an user. It is going to send immediately an email to the user. And right here, guys, you can see it is an end function. And an end function, it takes an object. And the object, it is going to be our event, our class. We need to import it. So I'm not getting to first the event class. And right here, we are going to use this. New user created. I'm not getting to the listener. I'm gonna pass it right here, and we need to import this class, new user created. We need to import the event. We need to pass here the event like this, new user created. And then here, let me do this. We are going to, if we see over here, we are not typing. I'm not type this. I'm gonna say it is going to be a type of user class, because we need to have a little autocomplete when we need to get access to property of the user. And then I'm gonna import that. Let us see. We just import the user model. It is there. And then the purpose of doing this, we are going to get a little autocomplete. Let me get it first within the listener folder. And right here, I'm gonna do this events. And then our events return a user. You're getting a user. It is an autocomplete, but also we can get access to property of a user. You can see right here, I'm gonna pass here email, and you can see we got another property, email verified at, and also you can see right here we got another property is valid email. You can see this is the benefit of typing our parameter. We just type it with the user class. And here, guys, we are going to send an email. we're going to use the mail facade. We need first to import the send mail class. Up here, we are going to remove it. We are getting an error right here. We need to import this class first. It is already been imported automatically. And right here, you app mail send mail. We just call the send mail class, and you can see it takes a user, the user model. But also, if we get into the send email verification listener, here we are going to do this. We are going to pass here the mail facade, and the mail facades we are going to get access to the two function. It is going to take, we are going to pass it the email, the email of the person that we want to send an email. It is going to be the user. We're going to pass the email, and then we're going to call the function send. We're going to pass it new send. We're going to pass here new send email. And the new send email, you can see the constructor take a user. We're going to pass here the user, like this, guys. But also, we are getting another. We need also to import another class, the mail class. You can see if we want to get a quick fix, we need to pay an extension. It is within the Illuminate supports facades mail. And I'm not trying to copy something right here, this class, and then I'm gonna paste it above right here. And then we're going to get into, the error, it is going to disappear. First of all, you can see we just pass it the user. We're going to do events, and then we're going to get access to the user. That's it, guys. Now we need to get in the auth controller and invoke this event. New user created. We need to invoke this event. Let us get into the listener class, and then we are going to copy. We are going to use this event within the auth controller. And right here, I'm gonna pass it over here, and we are going to call this event. Pass it right here. Once we created a user, we are going to store a created user within a variable user, and then we are going to invoke the dispatch function, dispatch, and then we are going to pass it the user. And as it is an observer pattern, guys, once the listener listen for the event new user created, it is going to send immediately an email to the user. This is an observer pattern. If you doesn't understand it right now, go on Google and type what is observer pattern. And once you learn, you understand how observer pattern works, and then you're going to come back and then you're going to literally understand how it actually works. Guys, you can see right here, we got the event new user created, and then the listener send email verification. It is going to listen for that event via the handle function. You can see right here, we just pass it to this handle function. Now we need to test it, and here we need to pass here. You can see our mail dev is right here. We just run mail dev, and we need to pass this port right here, 1025 within the env file. Right here, we need to get into within the env file. We are going to look for mail variable right here. We are going to pass here mail mailer. It is going to be SMTP like this. For the mail host, it's going to stay a local host. For the ports, we are going to pass this 1025. And when we are going to put our app into production, we are going to pass here this. Let me show you. We are going to pass this 465 for Google. This is the port that we use in production. And then, guys, we need to send an email. Let me first get into my Postman. And right here, I'm going to try to create a new user. I'm going to pass here my email. I'm going to pass here iJambo, and then iJambo123 @gmail.com, and then I'm trying to send an email to the user. I'm going to hit send, and then you can see it takes a lot of time to send an email. It takes a lot of time. We just created a user. You can see right here, you're getting a message, user created, but also we need to see right here, guys. You can see within the mail dev, we're getting an email here and the data that we pass within the blade file. This is the data. You can see right here, we got a token, but also other fields. Now, guys, we need to do this. If you try to create another user with the same email, I can see we have forgot to add something. You can see duplicate entry. We need to add a little validation. I have a little validation right here that we need to add there. This one right here. And then I'm going to get into the auth controller. and I'm gonna add it right here. We are going to say that the email, it is going to be unique. Right here we add a @ unique users email. It is going to be unique. And then right here you can see everything it is set up. Yeah, everything it is set up. You just pass here the user and the message. Now if we try to create a user again, they're going to say that this email is already been taken. Yeah, you can see. But also I got a boilerplate for our template. You can see right now we are sending a user, an object of a user. I'm not replace it. You can see right here I got a boilerplate of an HTML. I'm gonna copy it and get into the email folder. Right here within the views folder we got email, and then I'm gonna remove that, not copy this, because I've already do that. And here you can see this is our boilerplate, our templates email. You can see right here we are passing here an URL, but also we have an H1 email verification. Hello, we have sent you this email. Check if this email is valid. You can see we just get access to the email. You provide this, and then here guys we add another tag right here. Check this, check by clicking on this email. We just pass here the token, and then they're going to redirect to an endpoint that is going to check, that is going to change the status of the email. If we get into the database, let us get into the database. Right here you can see we got the table user. Let me show you. We got the user here, and the user here, the email, it is invalid. You can see right here the email, it is valid email column. You can see we got 0. Now we need, when we click on this link right here, check my email, it is going to redirect to this endpoint. Check email. We are going to put this endpoint within the web.php file. I'm gonna copy this and get into the web.php file. Right here I'm gonna get into the web.php file within the roots folder. We got web.php and create an endpoint. Right here I'm gonna remove that and pass here. I'm gonna do this. We are going to move to an endpoint. We're going to pass here this check email, and then we're going to pass here the of controller. Just import it automatically. We're going to pass here class, and then we're going to create a function check. We're going to pass here check email like this. I'm gonna pass here validate email, and then I'm gonna get into the of controller class. Let me add here semicolon real quickly, and right here I'm going to create a function up here, public function, and then it is going to take the function, it is going to take a token. You can see if we get into our blade, our email verification, that blade.php file, you can see right here we just passed the token. The token is right here. We are going to pass it over here. We are going to say that it is going to take the token like this for a path, the token, and then we're going to pass the token here, and then we're going to use the token in order to change the status of the email. We are going to do user semicolon, and then we're going to do updates. We're going to do where. We're going to pass here the token, and then we're going to invoke the update function. We're going to pass here is valid email column, and then we're going to pass it user, and then double semicolon, and then is valid email, and then we are going to update the email of the user, and then we are going to add another function redirect. It is going to redirect to the login page. We are going to do this redirect login. Right now it doesn't have the login page, but we are going to implement it later on. This is, I want to do that in order to show you that it is actually works. And then guys, we're going to redirect to the login page, and then let us try to check this. Let us try to create another user. Right here I'm gonna pass here another user with different email, Isaac123, and send an email. You can see it takes a lot of time. I'm not showing you how to improve it. You can see we just created second user, and you can see we just got another email. You can see right here we got from admin, from the app, it is sending an email, and then to Isaac. Email verification. You can see we have sent you this email check to this email to check if the email Isaac is valid. And then if we click on check my email, and then they're going to redirect us on the login page. Right now it doesn't have the login page. You can see we're getting an error where we should add here where like this, and then they're going to redirect us on the login page. Let me click on the login page. Yeah, you can see we're on the login page right now, but we haven't yet created this page. We're going to implement it later on. It is working. If we get into our database, you're going to see that everything, the email, it is valid. You can see right now we just validated the email, and that's how it works in production. In production, you need only to change the port. You're going to pass within the env file right here. You're going to pass, let me show you. I've already showed you. You're going to pass 465. This is the port that you're going to pass there. And then guys, you can see when we try to send an email, it takes a lot of time. I'm not showing you how to improve it by using queue. Alright guys, now let's talk about should queue interface. Right here you can see we got an interface should queue. Queues, we're going to learn what is queue and where should we use queues, guys. Queues allows to improve the performance of an app. It allows to process external action within an app. Like send an email, it is an external app. It is an action which is not related to the app. It is an external action like image resizing. These are processes that takes a long time to finish, guys. And we are going to learn how to improve the performance of our app. You can see right here, when we are going to create a user, I'm going to pass here user@gmail.com. It is going to take a lot of time. And how can we improve it? We are going to use queue. And right here, I'm going to first try to create a user. You can see right here, it takes a lot of time to finish. And then boom, we are getting user created message. If you get into the auth controller, guys, you can see right here, first it's do validation, and then it save the user to the database, and then it's listen for an event if we are creating a user, and then it is going to send an email to the user. This is a long process, but how can we improve it, guys? We are going to learn queue. We are going to queue up this process. We're going to get into the listener folder, send email verification. And right here you can see we got an interface should queue. We are going to queue up this process. We are going to add it to a queue. You can see if I get into my database, you can see right here we got a table, job batches. We got jobs. We are going to queue up this process. We got jobs. They're going to register this action. Then we are going to queue up. Here I'm not first delete all email within my mail dev server, and then I'm not showing you how it actually works. And then let us first implement this interface, send email verification, and then we're going to implement this interface should queue. And you can see within the handle function, we got this line right here. It allows to send an email to the user, and we are going to pause it because it takes a long time. We are going to wait for the process of saving the user to the database finish in order to get on this process. I'm going to pass here sleep function, and then we are going to pass it 5 seconds. We are going to pause the execution of this process right here. We are going to wait. They save the user to the database, and then they are going to send us a message user created, and after that they're going to send an email to the user after user creation. Now let's try to see how it works. But first of all, we have to run the queue saver. We're going to run php artisan queue work like this. We are going to run background process. You're going to listen to them. And right here, guys, let me show you. I'm gonna get into my Postman, and here I'm gonna try to create another user. I'm gonna pass here user 11, and then I'm gonna click on send. And here, guys, you're going to see if we get into the mail dev, you're not going to get the email, but they've already created the user. If we get into the mail dev, we doesn't yet get the mail. Yeah, it appears now because it is being queued up. Now let's try to see if we get into our queue saver. You can see now they sent this queue. They've run this queue, send email verification. And here guys, let me first close this saver and try it again. Here I'm gonna get into my postman and try to create another user. I'm gonna pass here user 112 and then I'm gonna click again on send. This saver, it is offline. You can see right here we just created a user. You can see user created user 112 at gmail.com. And if we get into the mail dev, it doesn't yet get the email. And now if we see within the job batches table, within the jobs, you're going to see that they queued up. There's a process which is pending. And once we are going to run our queue saver, it is going to run. Let us see queue work. And then you're going to see they send, they listen, they check within this table right here, jobs. And then you can see right now our email arrived within mail dev. Alright guys, now let's get started with the login endpoints. If you haven't already installed Laravel Sanctum, you have to make sure you type this command within your command prompt. Here I'm gonna first start my server and then you have to type php artisan install API. We are using Laravel 11. And after that, I'm gonna run again my server php artisan serve command and then we're ready to go. Now let me check my API specification. Right here, guys, if we check our API specification, you can see that for the login endpoints, we need to send the body, email, and password. For the response body, we are going to get the message is logged in, the logged in user, but also the token. Now, what is Laravel Sanctum? Laravel Sanctum, it is a package that is provided by Laravel in order to add security to our app. You can take it as a bodyguard. Let's say you got a nightclub somewhere, and in order to add security, you can hire a bodyguard. And once the bodyguard is on the door of a nightclub, in order a user to get in, he has to give the bodyguard money. And once he give the bodyguard money, can get access. That's how Laravel Sanctum works. You need to provide Laravel Sanctum a token, and he's going to check if this token is valid, and then you're going to get access to protect the resource. And that is guy. Now let's get into our auth controller. And right here, we are going to create a method login. And I'm gonna copy all of this logic from the register, and then I'm gonna change it. Right here, I'm gonna paste this logic right here. I'm gonna pass here login. And you can see right here, we have made a mistake, guys. We should pass here fields like this. And then we need to change within the login. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here fields. Here fields like this. We should do that. After that, guys, we need now the first thing we are going to do validation. And right here, we are going to require the email. It is going to be valid, but also for the password. Now, here, guys, we need to check if the user exists within the database. We're going to do where? We're going to get access to the email. We're going to use fields, email like this. And then we are going to use first. We are going to pass here the first method. Let me add here this first like this. And then the first thing we have to check if the user is not null. We're going to pass here if the user it exists. And then we are going to check if the user has already checked his email in order to get access to get a token. Yeah, right here, I'm gonna do this. Right here, I'm gonna add a check. Sorry, the check, it is going to be, you're going to say this if info, we're going to pass here info user. Within the user table, we got a field is valid email. And then we are going to check if it is different. And then we are going to check if the user email it is different. And then here we are going to pass here the user model, and then we are going to get access to a property within it. You can see right here within the user model we got a property is valid email. If the user email, the provided email, it is different from the is valid email. The is valid email it is 1. If the user is valid email it is 0. We are going to send a response to the user return response. You're going to send him a message to verify his email. We're going to say we send you an email verification. Yeah, like this. And then we are going to include another event right here. You can see new user created. We need to fire this event if the user email it is invalid. We're going to pass here semicolon, and after that we need to check if the password of the user it is valid. We're going to pass here. Let me do this. We're going to do if user. We need to check if the user exists, but also we are going to pass here. We're going to use the hash check. We're going to check the user password. We need also to pass here if the user password is false, it is invalid. We are going to use the provided password. We're going to add the fields provided password, and then right here we are going to use the stored password, and then we are going to send him a response. Right here, guys, we're going to say this. We're going to send him a response. Return response. We are going to pass here a message. We're going to say email or password invalid. And do email or password invalid like this. And then we're going to send him a status of 422 to say that this is unprocessable entity. Like this, guys. We need to add here semicolon. And after that, guys, we need also to generate a token for the user. You can see right here, we are going to pass this. We are going to return back the user this data. First of all, we need to do this. We are going to copy this, and then we're going to paste it up here. For the user, we need first to return a logged in user. We are going to pass here the logged in user. And also we need to add a to field. For the message is we are going to pass here logged, you are logged in. And pass here logged in. And then for the token, we need to create the token that we need to return back to the user. And right here, guys, in order to create a token, we need to add a secret key. Here I'm gonna add here a secret key first. This is a secret key, and you can try to create a secret key. Yeah, a random string. It should be large string, and then we are going to do this. We are going to pass here the token variable token, and then we are going to use the user class. The user class it is going to provide us a method create token, and then we're going to pass here this. We are going to use this secret key, and then we are going to the create token method. It is going to provide us another method. We're going to pass here plain text token like this, and then we're going to get a token that we need to send to the user. We're going to pass here token, and then we're going to send him a token, but also another property is logged in. You're going to say true, but also we need to add it. We need also to add this property on this right here within this if statement. Right here we need to add it. Pass here is logged in true. And then, guys, you can see right here we use the user model in order to get access to create token method. And in order to do so, we are going to get access to, we need to add a trait within the user. You can see right here, we have to add these traits. Use this class, it is a trait, guys. Use Laravel Sanctum has API tokens, and then you're going to add it right here, so that because if we go within the has API tokens, we have these methods. Create token. We should have it right here. You can see we got a method, create token. We have a method, and then we're going to use this method to generate a token for the user via the secret key. We need also to add here an endpoint. Let me do this. We need also to add here this endpoint, and here we need to hit the login endpoints. Now we need to get into our Postman because we already write everything. Everything is up. Now we need to check if it is working. Our login logic, it is working pretty well. And now I'm gonna get into my Postman again. And the first thing, I'm gonna try to create a user. Register, I'm gonna hit the register endpoints. And right here, I'm gonna pass here user 201 right here. And then I'm gonna remove it to try to check if everything. I'm gonna pass here register like this, register, and try to check if everything is working pretty well within the register method because we have changed something. And right here I'm gonna pass the email, and then you're going to see we're going to create a user. Yeah, user created. We just created a user because this is our response right here. Response, we just return message user created and the created user. But also we are going to try to hit the login endpoint for the verb. It is post2. Now here for the password, I'm gonna provide an invalid password to see what we're gonna get. You can see right here we are getting an error method validator validates email does not exist, and we should fix it for the login endpoint. Right here you can see we have an error right here. You can see we pass here email with an N. We need to remove it, and then we are going to send again. Right here we're going to send. Yeah, you can see we send you an email verification right here. There is a typo. We're gonna pass here verification like this. You can see we're getting a message. We send you an email verification. Let us create another user, guys. Here, let us create another user. Right here, I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna change the endpoint register, and right here, I'm gonna pass here 203, and I'm gonna send again. And we are going to get an email verification to our mail dev. Right here, you can see we have created a user. Now let us validate his email. And then right, you can see got this email. We're gonna click on check my email again. And once the verification finish, let us try to log in this user. We're gonna pass here login, and then we're gonna send again to see if we are going to get access. Yeah, you can see right here we are getting an error. Code to undefined methods plain text. The plain text, it should be a property. Right here I'm gonna pass here, it should not be a method like this, and then I'm gonna send again, and we are going to get the token. Let us see. Yeah, you can see we just logged in a user. Right here we just finished working on this endpoint. You can see that they return a logged in user. The name, email is valid email. We're getting one right now. Now, guys, we need to move to another endpoint, which is the post, which is the project. We are going to create a controller for that, and we are going to get started with the post endpoints. And for the request body, we're gonna send name, start date, end date. The response body, we're gonna return a message, project created. Now, let's do it. The first thing, we have to create a controller. We're gonna get into our server right here. I'm gonna do this php artisan make controller, pass here project controller, and then it is going to be created. But also we are going to create a model for our project, php artisan make model. We're going to pass here projects, and then we need to generate a migration with -m. And after that, we're gonna get into the project controller, the model first. We're gonna create here. We are going to add here a field. We're gonna say protected. We're gonna add here guarded like this. Guarded property allows to add mass assignable to a model. Right here, I'm gonna pass a protected guarded like this, guarded. And then we are going to assign it an array to say that we can assign it more properly. We're going to get into the database folder, and you can see right here we got the migrations. And here, guys, we need to add here the table. We're going to pass here the string. It is going to be the name of the project. It is going to have two properties, start date and end date. Start date, and here we're gonna add end date. These are appropriate. Let us check to our API specification. You can see right here, we're gonna send name, start date, and end date. These are appropriate that we're gonna send to our model. And if we take a look at our database structure, we are going to see the inputs that we're gonna have. And then, yeah, you can see right here we got the project table. We're gonna pass it ID, name, we need to pass also the status within the migration status. The status for the projects, it can be pending or completed. These are two status that a project can have. We're gonna pass here a status, pass here status first, but also we need to pass the slag. The slag, it is a field that we're gonna use to get access to details of a single project. Here, I'm going to add here the slag property, but also I need to add the status. The status, it is going to be an integer. We're gonna pass here status, yeah, like this, and then we're going to run our migration. We need also to get into the project model. We're gonna add two property, two constant. The first one, it is going to be const pending. We're gonna add here pending, pending like this. We're gonna assign it 0. We're gonna assign it to 1. We're gonna have right here another property const completed, but also we need to add another constant. We're gonna say not started. We're gonna assign it to 0. This is the status of that. Now we need to run our migration. We're gonna type php artisan migrate, and then they're going to create the migration. Yeah, we are done. Now we need to get into the project controller and create right here a method. We're gonna say public function store, and it's gonna take, I'm gonna get into first the off controller because I'm gonna grab something off controller. Up here, I need to pick something here. This, I'm gonna use all of that and the validator and press it in the project controller class. Up here, I need to remove, I'm gonna pass here for the model, it is going to be project. I'm not going to use the hash class, validator yes, and other fields. And right here, I need to copy another thing within this controller. I'm gonna copy again the register class, the register method, and press it in the off controller right here. We need to do that, guys. We are going to pass here right here. We need to require the name. We're gonna pass here store like this. We need to require the name, the status, but also we are going to pass here the name, the status. We need to require the start date and end date, and the slag start date, and right here end date. For the slag, it is going to be a property that we're gonna generate it here. We are not going to request it, but for our API specification, we need also to add right here the status. It is an int. And then, guys, we are going to check if the validation fails. We are going to return an array of errors to the user. But also right here, we are going to register user. We're going to pass here project, and we're going to get rid of that events. We're going to pass here project, and we're going to get access to public static method create. Here I'm going to pass here the name, and for the fields, I'm going to pass here name, and then I'm going to duplicate all of that. I'm going to remove that. And here I'm going to pass here start date. For the status, we are going to get access to this property. We are going to pass right now not started. We're going to pass it this status project not started, and then we are going to send a message to the user. Project created. This is the message. Now let's try to check. But first of all, we need to add also a line within the API.php file. Right here, we need to add an endpoint. And guys, we are going to secure all our endpoints, protected resource later on. Right now, we are not going to secure them. And right here, I'm gonna add here projects like this. And we need to get access to the store methods. But also right here, we need to add another controller, project controller like this. And then we're gonna pass it over here. It seems that our server, it is not running. I'm gonna pass here php artisan save. And let us check again. We're gonna pass here send again, and what we are going to get. You can see right now the validation, it is working pretty well. We are getting an array of errors, And here we need to pass here the name of the project, but I got an intuition that we missed something right here within this controller. Within the off controller, we missed something. Within the project controller, right here, it doesn't add here the slag. We are going to create a function within the project controller right here. We are going to say this public static. It is going to be a public static, a static method, public static create slag, and then we're gonna pass it this within the off controller. I got a function right here. Let me pick that. I'm gonna copy this, and then we are going to get into the project model, and we are going to use first the string class. We're going to do use string like this the string class. We're going to use it to generate a slag, and right here we're going to pass here the name of the project name, and here is we got a function. We're going to pass here, we are going to generate a random code, and then we are going to return the slag to the user. We're going to pass here the string class slag like this, and then we're going to pass here the name, and then we are going to concatenate random code, random generated string with this random code right here. We're gonna concatenate, we're gonna do this, yeah, and then we're going to return the slag. And right here, guys, in order to get access to this method, we are going to use the project class again, the project model. We're gonna get into the project controller. Right here, we're gonna pass project, and then we're going to do this. And we are going to pass here right now. For the parameter, it is going to take the name of the project. I'll pass it right here. Right now, I'm not getting to the postman. And then right here, I'm going to provide here the name of the project and pass here inventory management system, inventory management system. Now for the status, the initial status, we need to pass the status, but we can send it or not. You can see right here, guys, right here the status, we just add it right here, and we pass that we say that the status it is going to be required. We can comment this because we are not going to use it, because when we are going to create a project, we're gonna append it, we're gonna pass it the status of not started. It is going to be static. We are going to remove it, and right here we're gonna pass here start date and end date. Start date and end date. Right now we are not going to do validation for the date. We're gonna pass here 0. For the end date, we're gonna pass here 30, and then let us try to see if we are going to create a project. And right here I'm gonna click on send, and again you can see we got a message project created, and we just finished. For the update endpoint for the project, we're gonna send it the ID, name, start date, and end date. And we're gonna go ahead and get into our project controller. And right here, I'm gonna copy first all of that, and then I'm gonna change the method from store to update. Right here, we're gonna pass here update, and then this update, it is going to take an ID right here. You're going to pass a parameter to, it is going to be a path. We're going to pass projects and then slash the path. And here we are going to require the name, start date and end date. But also we are going to require the ID. We are going to pass here in another field. It is going to be the ID. It is going to be required. I'm pass here required, and also right here we are going to, let me get rid of that, and I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna add here where clause where ID, and we're gonna pass here the ID of the project that we need to update. Then we're gonna get access to the update method, and I'm gonna paste that right here. We need to update the name, the date, and start date and end date. For the status, it is going to, we are not going to update the status, and we're going to update the slag in case we change the name. We need also to change the slag. And that's all, guys, for the update. And right here, we're going to pass here project updated. This is the message that we're going to return to a user with a status of 200. Right here, we are going to pass that. Now let's try to create an endpoint within the API.php file. It is here. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to pass here updates. And then right here, we are going to pass here updates like this. Right here, we're going to pass here another path. We're going to pass here the ID. We're going to do this. It is another path. We're going to pass here the ID. And for the HTTP verb, we are going to pass here put for updates. And let's try again to check. We already created projects. If we get into our database, let me show you real-time app. This is our database. You can see we got a table projects. It is one project right here. Here, let us see it. You can see right now we got a single project, inventory management, and you can see this is the start date and end date. Now, this is the Slack. Now let's change this inventory management to school system. We're gonna go again within the Postman, and right here I'm gonna add another key. It is going to be the ID. We're gonna pass here slash ID. We're gonna pass here 1, and the HTTP verb is going to be post, and then we're gonna send. Right here we need to add right here also the ID, and then right here we are going to pass here 1, and then we're gonna send. And then you can see we are getting a message, project updated. But also, guys, we can do things like this. You can see right here we have passed the ID within as a second path. And if we get into our project controller right here, you are going to see that we can get access to the ID, but we can remove the ID because we just send it to within the request body. We can pass even here fields like this, and then we're going to get access to the ID because we just require the ID. I'm going to pass here fields like this, and then the ID is going to be here. We are going to remove it here, and for the path, we are going to remove it too. But if it doesn't require the ID, you can put it even as a second path. Now we need to get the project. We need to add a get endpoint that is going to return this array of projects. It is going to take the ID of the project, name, start date, end date, and right here we need to add right here the task progress. The task progress, it is a table that is going to hold the progress of a specific project. The progress, it is going to be in percent. We're going to understand it later on a bit. And right here, we need to return that. And if you see again to our database, let us see our database right here. That is a task project. You can see right here, a project has a task project. It means when we are going to create a project is going to have percents. Let's say a project has 5 tasks that we need to do to it, and then we have completed 4 tasks. For the progress fields, it is going to take 80% as the progress of the project. That's what we're gonna do. Right here, we're going to create another task project, another model, task progress, and we are going to add a project ID pinned on field, pinned on dashboard field, but also the progress. Now we're gonna go ahead again and create another migration. We're gonna do PHP artisan migrate, PHP artisan make model, task progress, and then within the task progress we need to refer the model, and we are going to add in something. We need to add in fields. Right here, if we get into the database folder, it is here. You can see we got another table, task progress. It is going to have the ID. It is going to be an integer. I'm gonna pass here project's ID, but also it is going to have pinned on dashboard fields. It is going to be an integer too, pinned on dashboard. These fields, it is going to have 2 value 0 1. When we pin a given project on dashboard, we can see the analytics of these projects. Right here, we're gonna add here pinned on dashboard, And right here, I'm gonna add here progress. It is going to the value of these fields. We're gonna pass here a string. The value it is going to be a percent, and pass here a progress. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get into the model task projects. Right here, I'm gonna create two constants. The first one, it is going to be pinned on, not pinned on dashboard, not pinned on dashboard. Like this, we're gonna assign it 1, 0, and if a given project it is pinned on dashboard, we're gonna assign it 1. We're gonna pass here pinned on dashboard, it is going to take 1. And we're gonna get into the project. You can see right here we have a relation between the table project, and task project. We're gonna add right here a relationship of has 1, because a project has 1 task progress. And right here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna add here, we're gonna create public function task progress. We're gonna get into we're gonna put this function within the project model. Right here, we're gonna do this public function task progress, and then we are going to add here a relation this. We're gonna say has, going to get access to the has1 method. A project has 1 task progress. We're gonna pass here the model task progress, and then we're gonna pass here the class and the project, the ID, the foreign key, like this. And then we're gonna get into the project controller. Within the project controller, we are going to create a method. We are going to get a method that is going to return a list of projects. And right here, we're gonna pass here public function project. We're gonna pass here index, and we're gonna pass here the request. We're gonna pass here request, and then within this function, we are going to pass here the project first, and then we're gonna pass here the model project with. We're gonna get to the with public static method, and then we're gonna pass here with task progress. It is going to take an array. In case we need to make another relationship to other tables, we should pass here an array, because we're going to add here tables task progress, and then we're going to pass here paginate. We are going to use paginate 10 right here. We are going to use pagination, and then I'm going to return a response. I'm going to pass here return response. I'll pass here the project and with a status of 200. Now let us check first. Some pass here is going to be stored. We're going to return an array, appropriate data that is going to hold an array of projects. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into the API.php file and create another endpoint, which is going to be the get. You're going to return a list of projects. We're gonna use the index method. And let us get into our postman and right here we're gonna pass here the get, and let us see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna click send. First of all, we need to do migration. We're gonna pass here PHP right here. I'm gonna pass here PHP. We need to do migration. PHP artisan migrate. After that, you can see right here, guys, we just make migration, but also we need to run our server. PHP artisan serve. Yeah, our server is running, and then I'm gonna click again send. We are getting an error, call to a member function, add eager constraints or null. It seems we're getting an error. We're gonna get into the task progress. You can see right here within we are going to get into the project model. Within the project model is where we add relationship. And right here, you can see we got the project model. You can see right here, we should add here return in order to get rid of the error. And I'm gonna click again send to see what we are going to get. And right now you can see we are getting an array data. It is a data profile. Right here, it is an array of projects. And you can see task progress, it is null actually, because we haven't yet add this. Within the task progress, we doesn't have any row. and we are going to add it when we just created a project. Within the project controller, guys, you're going to see right here, we have right here projects. We're going to add another model, task projects. When we create a project, we need to add something within the task progress. We are going to initialize it. For the pinned on dashboard, it is going to take the value of 0. And for another field, which is the progress, it is going to be 0 at the first time. And right here, we're going to pass here task progress, and then we're going to call the method create. We're going to pass here this. It is going to take a field. We're going to pass it project ID. And you can see right here, we got projects. When we just created a project, we are storing a created project within this variable project. And within this variable, we got the ID. We are going to get the last created project's ID. We are going to do projects and then ID. We're going to get access to the ID. And then we're going to pass here pinned on dashboard. We are going to pass it. We're going to pass here task progress. Within the task progress model, we got two constants. We're going to pass here not pinned on dashboard. This is not pinned on dashboard. And here we are going to add here another field, which is the progress. Right now, we're going to add here 0. But if we add here 0, it is going to work. But this code, it is not clean at all. Let me show you why. Right here, when you pass here the ID, you can see this code right now, it is going to work, but it's not clean at all. You can see right here. What means the ID to someone who you are working with? If you're working yourself, it's good. But if you're working with other people, you should pass here another constant. We're gonna pass here initial project percent. We're gonna pass it. We're gonna assign it to 0. This is a good way, guys. This is a good way, and that can enable the people you're working with to read your code. And right here, we're gonna pass here task progress. Pass here task progress, and again, we're gonna get access to another property, initial project percent. But also, you can get into this model and add a comment above it. If I get into the task progress model, and right here, I can document it. I can do this, and I can say project percent. This is a good way, guys. And then within the project controller, you can see right here, when we are going to over it, you can see project. You can add a good documentation to other people who are going to read this code. But also here, you can see we got two queries. We need to create a project, but also we need to initialize a task project. What we are going to do, we are going to replicate this code within a transaction. And we are going to use the DB class. We already imported the DB class right here. We are going to return DB. We're going to pass it within the transaction, and then we're going to pass here an anonymous function, and then we are going to invoke the use function. We're going to pass here use. We are going to use the request function, the request parameter provided by the request class, and then right here we are going to put all of that within the transaction. I'm going to copy all of that and pass it within the transaction. Just repeat it within the transaction. Let me copy all of that and put in right here. And then this transaction, if this fails, they are not going to create a error within the task progress table. Yeah, this is a better way. They're going to wait. The transaction allows to execute a group of queries together. If one fails, it is going to roll back other queries. It is going to cancel other queries. This is how a transaction works. Now let us create another project, and you're going to see that right here, we're going to get an object right here. And here, I'm going to change first the HTTP verb. And for the project, we're going to pass here, we're going to say it is going to be X app. This is the name of our project. And then I'm going to click on send. We just create a project, but also we just initialize the task. We are getting an error, task project project ID to fill our property to allow mass assignable on. We are going to allow mass assignable by adding a property within the task progress. You can see within this project model, we got this property. Got it. We're gonna add it within the task progress to allow mass assignments. We are going to click again send, and it is going to work. Yeah, you can see project created. If we get into our database, and you can see it is the ID of the created project. It is free, pinned on dashboard. Pinned on dashboard, it is 0. For the progress of a project, it is 0. Now, if we try to hit the get endpoint again, you're going to see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna click again, get. Yeah, you can see right now, guys. Let me do that so that you're going to see. You can see right now we're getting data. We got a project with ID free, name X app, and we got right here task progress. It is the ID 1, project ID free, pinned on dashboard 0. For the progress is 0. And that's pretty much it, guys. But we have to add another thing right here. To our endpoint, we need to pass it the query so that we can be able to search for a given project. We are going to add a query parameter right here so that we can pass the name of a given project that we want to search for or see the analytics for. We can pass the name to the query. And what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and get into again the project controller. And right here, guys, I'm going to pass here a query and pass a query. And then I'm going to do request get. I'm going to get the query, request get, and pass here the query. And I'm gonna modify our query right here. I'm gonna pass if the query it is not null, and pass here it is not null like this. I'm gonna pass here the query, but also I need to pass here. I'm gonna pass here for the query, and also I need to pass and then I'm gonna check again if the query it is not empty. Query it is not empty like this, and then here I need to get access to the projects. Right here, you can see projects. We're going to the projects, and then we're going to get access to the where clause, and then we're going to pass here the name of the project that we want to looking for, and here I'm going to pass here like clause, and here the persons, and right here we're going to pass the query in, and like this, guys, and then we need to pass here another method order by by name. We're gonna do this ascending order, and then we're gonna pass here order by ID, ascending order, descending order. We're gonna pass here descending order, and then we are going to return the project. We're gonna do this return response, and then right here we are going to pass this. We're gonna copy it and paste it right here, and right here we're gonna pass here paginate 10. We're gonna pass here 10, and here if we doesn't send anything within the query, they are going to do this. We are going to just return a list of projects, and right here you can see right now we are getting an error. We need to add here a comma, a semicolon, and let us check this code if it is going to work pretty well. You can see this is the code that we just added, and right here within the postman, I'm gonna pass here the name of the projects. I'm gonna pass here. You can see right now we got the school system, but also the second project is X app. I'm gonna look for X app, X, and pass here X to see if they're going to look for the X app. And yeah, you can see that the query it is working pretty well. Now, guys, let us interacting with the pin on project's dashboard endpoint. We're gonna pass it the post HP verb, and for the request body, we're gonna pass it the project ID. Response body, we're gonna pass it message, and then we're gonna move to another endpoint. First of all, we need to get into the project controller, and right here we're gonna copy this validation right here, because if we need to pass it we need to send the project ID. It is going to be a type of number. And then I'm not creating another method. I'm passing public function pinned on pinned projects. And we're going to pass the request class first. request, and then here we're gonna pass it this validation code. The input that we need to validate, it is going to be the project ID. We're gonna remove that. And then here, if we get into the task progress, we're gonna copy it, and it is a field. If we get into our database, you can see the task progress right here has project ID column pinned on dashboard and the progress. We are going to use this project ID column in order to change the pinned on dashboard value. And we are going to pass here this. We're going to use the task progress. I think we already imported it is there. And we are going to pass here the where clause. We're going to pass here where project ID. We're going to pass here fields like this, project ID. And then right here, we are going to pass here we're going to pass here update method. And then we are going to update the fields pinned on dashboard. And then we are going to get access to this static constant. We're going to get access to this constant within the task progress. We are going to pass here pinned on dashboard. Let us check within the task progress. You can see right here, we're gonna add pinned on dashboard. It is 0. Right now, we're gonna use pinned on dashboard. It is going to take the value of 1. It's gonna pass here pinned on dashboard, and yeah, like this. And then we're gonna return a response which has message. You're gonna say project pinned on dashboard like this. And then we're gonna add here semicolon, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the API.php file. We're gonna add another endpoint which is going to be pinned project. Yes, I'm gonna pass it right here, and let us test this. If it is working, we're gonna try to update the project with ID free. And right here, I'm gonna change the HTTP verb. We are going to send the project's ID. Right now, I'm gonna remove all of this, and here I'm gonna pass here the project ID, and we are going to send it. We are going to say that it is going to be a type of number within the validation. We're gonna pass here a pipe sign, then a number. We're gonna pass here numerical to say that the value is going to be a type of number. And if we go within the Postman and click send, you're gonna see, you can see right now project ID project ID field must be a number. And you can see right here we are passing a string, and then I'm gonna pass the value of the project that we need to update the pinned on column. We're gonna pass here free and project pinned on dashboard. If we get into the database, you're going to see that this project right here, the status is going to change. It was 0, it changed to 1. And guys, if we get into our API.php file, you can see right here, we are repeating ourselves. Now we can make a little refactoring. I'm gonna pass here a method. I'm gonna get access to a root controller, and then we are going to pass in the controller project controller class, and then we are going to invoke the group function. We're going to pass it an anonymous function, and then we are going to put all of that in. We're going to wrap it. We're going to put it right here, and then we are going to remove the controller right here, so that our API, it is going to be clean a bit. I'm going to remove that, and then everything it is going to work as expected. Now remove that too. I'm gonna remove that line right here, and that too, and that, and that. Yeah, and you can see right now our API, it is a bit clean. We're gonna get rid of all of that. Now we need to move to another endpoint, get project details. Right here you can see it takes data. We need to return a project, name of the project has task. A task also has members. It takes an array of members. This is the endpoint that we need to work on. And right now it doesn't yet created the member table. We need to work on, and then we're gonna come back later on. Right now we need to move to the member model. Right here, if we get it, we see our database structure. You can see right here a task. A task is here. A task has members. You can see it right now. There is another table, task members, and we are going to use this table to get an array of members which has been attributed to a given task. And as right now it doesn't yet created the members table, we need to create it and add some endpoints on it. And then we're gonna move on to the task members table. And then we are going to construct this JSON right here that you can see right here. We are going to construct it later on. First of all, we need to create the controller. We're gonna pass here php artisan make controller. We're gonna pass here member controller, and then we're gonna create model php artisan make model. We're gonna pass here member dash migration, and then we're gonna run our save. We're gonna prepare this command. We're gonna run it. For migration, we're going to migrate in the table. This migration member, it's gonna have two fields. The first one is going to be the name. We're gonna pass here the name, and right here we're gonna pass here the email. We're gonna run this command php artisan save. We're gonna pass here yes, and then our server it is gonna run, and then we're gonna get into the member model. I'm gonna copy this properly right here. I'm gonna paste it in to say that we need to allow mass assignments. And then I'm gonna get into the member controller right here. We need to implement our first endpoint. It is going to be get. And right now, guys, if we get into the project controller, we need to copy something within it. I'm gonna copy this line right here and the validator and paste it in the member controller. We're gonna paste it right here. We're gonna pass here member, and we're gonna get rid of the task progress. And again, within the project controller, I'm gonna copy this code right here, the index for the get. Let me copy this, all of that. Restore. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this and paste it in the member controller right here. I'm gonna paste it, but also I need to copy also the updates function. I'm gonna paste it in within the member controller right here like this. And then guys, we need to modify all of that. Right here, we're gonna pass here member. We need to pass here, we're gonna search this project, we're gonna replace it with members, and then we're gonna hit replace. So we're gonna pass here the member model, and here I'm gonna use the DB class. In order to do that, I'm gonna pass here DB, and then I'm gonna pass here members, because right now I don't want to select anything. If I do this, let me show you. It was like this. Here I pass here member, and then I just use the with method in order to get access to data of another table. And the member table doesn't have any relationship. And if I pass here only member, we are going to get an error. It is going to result in an error unless I just pass here select. I just select the name and email fields. You can see it is going to work. But if I doesn't want to select any field, I can pass even this members, and then I'm going to select all field and add here comma like this. You can use this or this, and then right here the member is going to have also the query. We're gonna look for the name. For the response, yeah, all of that we're gonna let them like this. Yeah, we just finished. We need to move to the store endpoints. For the store, we're gonna require the name and email. We're gonna pass here #, we're gonna say it's going to be an email, and we're gonna remove these two fields. We're gonna pass here the name and email here. Yeah, and right here you can see we are going to return an error in case the user doesn't provide a name or email. And then here we're gonna pass here member, and here member. In case we need to get access to a field of created member, we can use the member variable. And then here I'm gonna pass here email, and here email. I'm gonna get rid of this code right here. I'm gonna pass here member created right here. Let me do this. Member created. And then for the transaction, we can let it or remove it. But right now the transaction doesn't have any effect because it doesn't run many query. Yeah, you can see I'm gonna remove it. We need to move to the updates. For the update endpoint, we're gonna need the ID of the member, the name, and email. I'm gonna pass here email. I'm gonna remove that's required. And also we are going to remove this right here. We're going to pass here member, and then we're going to use pass here ID, name, and email. And right here we're gonna pass here email, and then I'm gonna remove that. And that all guys, name and email. And right here member updated. Now we need to move to the api.php file and implement all required endpoints. Now let us get into the api.php file and implement all endpoints required. I'm gonna get in right here within the root folder, and then I'm gonna pass here the endpoints. We're gonna pass here, we're gonna copy all of that, and then we're gonna import first the member controller. We're gonna pass here member controller, and then right here we're gonna pass here member control like this, member controller. And then right here we're gonna pass here members. For the course, it is going to eat store and put members, and for the get members, and then we are going to remove that. And now let us check if everything is working for our endpoints for member controller. Let us check. Get into the postman, and right here guys, I'm gonna pass here again. I'm gonna pass here this members, and then here I need to pass here the post. I'm gonna pass here first the post. I'm gonna create a member, and for the data I need to send the name and the email. Let us try to see. I'm gonna pass here the email, the name, and the email, and then right here I'm gonna pass here Ben, and for the email it is going to be ben@gmail.com, and let's try to send. I'm gonna click send, and then we are going to see we are going to create a member created. We are getting a message, and if we get into our database, we check for the member table, we are going to see that we are going to create a member right here. Member, we got the members table. You can see right here we are getting Ben. Now let's try to hit the get endpoint. We're gonna pass here get hp verb, and then hit send. Yeah, we're getting an array of members. Now we need to update a member. We're gonna change the name Ben to John. I'm gonna pass here puts for that, and then here we're gonna pass here even Ben 12, and then let us try to see if, and also we need to pass here the ID of the member. For the ID, let us check first within the member controller. I'm gonna get it for the member controller right here. Member, let us see member controller right here. We add here the ID. It is required, and it's better. And right here I'm gonna pass here the ID of the member. I'm gonna pass here 1. Let us see which kind of data. I'm gonna add here. It is going to be numeric. I'm gonna pass here numeric to say that it must be a number, numeric, like this. And then we're gonna send. If we pass here a string, we're gonna get an error, validation error. Let us see. Yeah, the ID fee must be in a number. Now let's try to send a pass here a number. We're gonna pass here 1, and then they're going to update a member. Yeah, member updated. If we get into our table members, you can see right here guys, members. I'm gonna click members. Yeah, you can see right now the email was ben@gmail.com. It's changed to ben12@gmail.com. And now guys, we are going to work on 2 models at a time. Right here you can see we are going to work on this model. We are going to work on the model task model and task members model. Because here guys, we are going first to create a task. We're going to pass it the name and the project ID within the task model, but also we are going to send here this ID of a task, and then the task ID within the task members, but also we are going to pass here an array of members. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then you're going to understand why we do that. Because if you see this, our our C project details endpoint right here, this is the endpoint, project details endpoint. The project details endpoint takes the project, takes the task, and the task, it can take an array of tasks. You can see right here, it is an array, and a task, it returns a task, and then a task takes also an array of members. When we are going to finish working on this endpoint, create task, we're going to move to this endpoint, and then you're going to understand our database structure. You're going to understand this little structure, how it actually works. And here, guys, I'm going to first create a model. The first model that I'm going to create is going to be the task model. I'm going to go again within my command prompt here. First, I need to create the task model, PHP artisan make model. We're going to pass it task -m, but also we need to create also the controller, PHP artisan controller, PHP artisan make controller. Now pass it task controller like this. Now we need to create also another table, task members right here. I'm gonna pass here PHP artisan make model. We're gonna create another model and pass here task member like this dash migration. And then we need to get into the model. We need first to pass right here. I'm gonna pass it. Let me move that a bit. Let me drag it over right here. And then here we need to pass to the task model the project ID, name, and status. And then let's go ahead and get into the database folder within the migration folder, and we need to get started with the task. I'm gonna pass here the column. It is going to be an integer. I'm gonna pass it the project ID. After the project ID, we need to pass it the name of the task. We're gonna pass it, it's going to be a type of string, but also we need to pass it the status. A task has two status, completed and pending. I pass here the status is going to be an integer, and right here I'm gonna pass here status. And that's all, guys, for the task model. Let us check. You can see it takes the project ID, name, and status. For the task members, takes project ID, task ID, member ID. And then I'm gonna copy that and paste it in this table right here. We're gonna pass here project ID, and then this one is going to be an integer. I'm gonna pass here task ID like this, but also I'm gonna pass here member ID, and then here, and then project ID, task ID, member ID. That all, guys. Now we need to run our migration. We're gonna type PHP artisan migrate, and then we just created our migration, our tables. Now we need to run our save. We're gonna type PHP artisan save command, and we're gonna go first within the task here, task controller. Right here, I'm gonna copy something right here within up here. I need to copy this code right here. I'm gonna use it, the validator, but also I'm gonna paste it within the task controller. And right here, we need to get access to the task model, but also to the member model. I'm gonna pass here the member model, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the task model. Right here, we're gonna create two constants. The first one, it is going to be completed. Right here, I'm gonna pass here a constant completed. I'm gonna pass here first pending. It's going to take a type of 1. It's going to take a value of 1, and completed. I'm gonna pass here completed. I'm gonna copy this. Now pass here completed. It's going to take a value of 2 like this, and then we're gonna pass here another field. We're gonna pass it this protected guarded to say that we're going to do mass assignable on this model. I'll pass here completed, but also I need to get into the task members model. I need to pass this, and I'll pass this property to add mass assignable. And then guys, we're gonna get into, we need to import also the task model within the task controller. Right here, I'm gonna add here another model task member. And then guys, we need to create a method. Let me add here semicolon. We need to create another method, public function. We're gonna pass it create task, and then we're gonna pass it a request class. And right here, the first thing we need to do validation. We're gonna copy something here for the validation. I need to copy that, and then I'm gonna copy all of that right here. Yeah, even the fields. Yeah, this. And then within the task controller, we need to do a small validation, because the data that we are going to send to the server is going to look like this. Let me show you. We are going to pass it. You can see right here. Let me show you. This is the request body. I'm going to paste it in Postman. And right here, we are going to pass here this. We're going to send first this, the project ID. It is going to be a number. We're going to pass here a number. We're going to pass the name of the task. We're going to pass here the name of the task. We're going to pass also the status. No, we are not going to send the status, because when we create a task, we're going to pass it a status of not started. This is the status that we're going to add it. And I forgot to add it within the task model. Right here, I'm going to add another status right here. I'm going to copy this, not started, not started, like this, not started. I'm going to assign it 0. It is going to be another status, another constant, sorry. And here guys, I'm going to get into the Postman, and here we are not going to send the status. It is going to stay right now. It is going to, we're going to add it. It is going to take the value of the constants and the name and the member ID, member IDs. This is the fields. This is the field that we're going to send. It is going to be an array of member ID. For example, when we select a task, given task, we can assign more than one members to a task. This is the type of our JSON. This is the object that we're gonna send to this endpoint, create task. And then they're going first to create a task, and then they're going to we're gonna send also members that we need to assign to this task. And then I'm gonna remove that. And also we need to get into the task controller. Right here we get task controller, and right here we're gonna do first validation. I'm gonna add here the name of the task. It is going to be required. The project ID is going to be required, but also it is going to be a type of number. I'm gonna pass here numeric, and here we need to pass here member IDs like this. It is going to be an array. We're going to pass here, it's going to be a type of an array. And then we are going to say that as it is going to be a type of an array, we're going to say all fields in this members array must be a number. Member.id. We're going to use a wildcard sign, and then we're going to pass here, we're going to say all fields within it must be a numeric, a number, like this. And we're done with our validation. Let's try to check if it is going to work. And then here guys, let's first add the endpoint within the API.php file. I'm gonna move to this file right here, and here I'm gonna copy this and add another root right here. We're gonna add task controller. We're gonna import it, and then we're gonna pass here task like this. We're gonna eat the method that we need to eat is create task. We're gonna pass it to the endpoint. Let me pass it right here. I'm gonna pass it, and then we need to check if the validation it is going to work. Now guys, you can see right here we have selected the row right here. This point right here, we just select the row. In previous endpoints, when we're dealing with previous endpoint that we just finished, right here we're using xww from URL encoded, and right here you can see we used to pass here this data in form in UX WW form URL encoded. And right here, you can see right now we are using the row. And we are going to pass here the project ID, the name, and members ID text and array. What if we work within this XWW form URL encoded? Right here, if we do this, 1, 2, and then try to send an array of IDs. If we try to see the code right here, you can see the ID, it takes a string, but within it we got an array. If we send this value, this kind of value to Laravel, it is going to consider that the ID is type of string. And if we get into the row, we are going to see right here the members ID. If we see the code, we are going to send a member ID. It is an array. Now we need to try to check if it is going to work. If I try to remove the data within it, we try to hit send, and then let us see the message. The members ID, that's free must be a number. And right here, guys, you can see the validation, it is working pretty well. If I pass here, try to add here a string, let me add in a string to see if you're going to get an error. You can see right here first the name field is required, the members that 0 field must be a number. And right here, guys, the validation, it is working pretty well. Now we need to insert this data. We need to put this data within the database. The first thing we have to do, we have to create within the task controller. We are going to use first the task. We're going to create first the task. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna pass here task, and then we're gonna do create. And first of all, we need to pass it the project ID. The project ID, it is up here. We're gonna do fields, this like this fields, and then we're gonna pass here the project ID like this. We need to pass here the name of the task. We're gonna pass here the name, but also we need to pass, let us check to the model. Here you can see task and the status. I'm gonna pass it the value of not started. I'm gonna pass here the status is going to be, we're gonna pass here the task model, and then we're gonna pass here not started. And here, guys, as we just created a task, we need also to create we need also to attribute a task to a member. Once we create a task, we need also to select a member. And guys, you can see right here, once we just created a task, we need also to attribute a task to a member. This is the input that we are sending to our create task endpoints. And here you can see, if I showed you, you can see our database structure. We got right here the task members. We should pass it the project ID, task ID, member ID. And then what we are going to do, you can see right here, when we select a given task it can have more than one members. We are going to add this. We are going to iterate through this array right here. I'm not do this. I'm not use the loop for. I'm not do this for. I'm gonna pass here the count. I'm not add here e. I'm not initialize it, and then the fields. I'll pass here fields. These fields, it is going to be members. I'm gonna pass here members ID like this. Got member ID. I'm gonna copy this, and then we're going to iterate through this array, and then I'm gonna pass here I plus plus, and then we are going to insert in within the task members table. The task members table, it is going to take this field. I'm gonna pass it task create. I'm gonna pass it is going to take the first field. It is going to be the project. It's gonna take this. The second field, it is going to take the task ID. The task ID, we're gonna get the last created ID right here. We are going to get access to it. We're gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pass here the task, because when we create a task, it's going to return the ID of created task. And then I'm gonna get access to this ID and pass here this ID. And then we need to pass it member ID. And for the member ID, we are going to pass here this. We're gonna pass here. Let me create right here a variable and I say members, and then I'm gonna assign it this array. And here I'm gonna pass here members. I'm going to iterate through this array and insert these IDs within the member ID column. And right here I'm gonna pass here members, and then right here I'm gonna pass the index, and then I'm going to get access to appropriate because this is the type of array this is, and then we are going to send that. And right here I'm not wrap all of that within a transaction because we have more than one queries. You can see right here, this is we have to create task, but also we need us to create task members. We have to process 2 query, and as we are going to process 2 query, I'm not wrapping it within a transaction. I'm not create right here. I'm gonna copy all of that and then wrap it in a transaction. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna do this first. I'm gonna copy all of that and use the DB class to create a transaction. We're gonna do return DB transaction, and then we're gonna pass it a callback. And right here, we're gonna pass it. We're gonna use the use, pass here use, and then we're gonna pass here our instructions. And then right here, we're gonna get into the postman again, and we're gonna try to create a post. And if we get into first within our database, here you're going to see we have a table. If we get into the projects, let us see the IDs of the project that we have. Right here you can see we have 2 projects with ID 1 and 3. For members, we got 2 members. For members, let me see, check the members table right here. Let us check it. Members, within the members table, you can see right here we got 2 members, Ben and John. And as we have 2 members, we are going to use these IDs because when we create a task, we need to attribute more than one members to a task. And we're going to get in the postman. We're going to pass here member ID is going to be 1 and 2, 1 and 2. If we try to send, we are going to get first a validation error for the name. The name field is required. We're going to pass here the task creates the UI. This is the task, and then I'm gonna hit again send, and again you're going to see we are going to get a message. It doesn't get a message. We should pass here a response. We're gonna pass here return response. We're gonna pass here a message. We're gonna say that task. We're gonna pass here task created successfully, and then we're gonna add right here semicolon. And again, we're going to create another task right here. If we check within the task members, you're going to see that we got something within it because we already ran the create post endpoints, create task endpoints. Right here, you can see we have they have inserted the projects with the ID 1, task 1, 1. For the task 1, we got a member 1 and 2. And within the task table, you can see right here, we have one task, which is create the UI, which is associated to the projects with ID 1. And then here, guys, what we need to do is to check first right here. You can see when we just create a task member, we just retrieve the ID. This is how you retrieve the last ID of an inserted record. And right here, we need to try to create another task. And for the second task, I'm gonna pass here fix the bug in the API, fix the bug in the API. This is the second task, and then I'm gonna hit send, and we are going to get a message right here. You can see task created successfully, and then you're going to check the task table. It has data. Right here, you can see fix. Right here, I should pass here fix a bug in API. You can see fix in the API. Yeah, this is the name of the task. And here, guys, you can see within the task members, we got members. We got member 1 and 2. They just attribute. They're going to work on the task fix fix bug in API. And then right here within the task, I'm not try to change it. I'm gonna pass here fix. I'm gonna do this fix bug, fix bug, fix bug in the API. Yeah, I made a mistake right here, guys. You can see we made a mistake here. We should pass here fix bug in API. And then, guys, we need to work on another endpoint that is going to return the details of a project. This is the endpoint. Now, guys, let's implement this endpoint, give project details. And we're going to go again within the project controller right here. We are going to pass a slug in order to get the details of a single project. We're going to pass here public function. We're going to pass here get projects. And we're going to pass it. It is going to take the request. And also, we're going to pass it the slug. Because if we get into our database real-time app right here, you're going to see right here we have the project table. On the project table, here's a field. Let us, yeah, you can see right here it is a field. Guys, it's like we are going to use this field to get the details of single projects. And right now, guys, we are going to pass here the project. We're gonna pass here project, and then we're gonna pass here the project, and then we're gonna do where. We're gonna add here where projects, and then project that slug, project with an s that slug, and then we're gonna pass right here the slug. And then we're going to return the details of a single project. We're gonna pass here first, and we are going to return it within the response. We're gonna pass here. Let me pass here just the data, and then we're going to return a single project. Now let us get into the API.php file and implement the endpoint that is going to eat this method. Right here, let us move to the API.php file right here. Let us get in. Now right here, you can see we have here the project controller, and we need to import it. Right here, we haven't yet imported the project controller, and we should fix that. We're gonna import it. Let me add this first right here, projects controller up here, and then I'm going to add here use like this. And here, guys, we are going to pass here. We're going to create another get endpoint. It is going to take a second path. Right here, I'm gonna pass here projects, and it is going to take a path. It is going to be a slug, and then it is going to eat the get projects endpoint. If you try to copy a slug within the database, you're going to see right here, I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm getting to the postman and pass here projects slash the slug, and then I need to change the HTTP verb, and then we're going to get the results. If I hit and we just send, you can see we got a single project. Let me copy this, and then I'm gonna put in within the browser so that we can see pretty well. I'm gonna pass it right here, and here, guys, we can see we got details of single projects. Now if we go to our database structure, you can see right here, this is the project. A project has task, and task has members. We need to add a relationship. We are going to get into the task mode, the project model. Right here, we are going to add another relationship. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna pass here task, and the kind of relationship that we are going to add right here is has many, because a project has many tasks. Right here has many. I'm gonna pass here the project and pass here the task. The project has many, and pass here task with an S. And as a project has many, and as a project has many tasks, but also a task has many members. You can see right here, we got task members. Task members. A task can have more than one members. We are going to get into the task members within the task members, and then within the task, sorry, we are going to get in and add this. A task has many task members. That's it, guys. And right here, I'm gonna add right here the ID. You can see within the projects.php file model, we have passed here the foreign key. It is project ID. Now within the task member, within the task, we are going to pass here the task ID. If we get into the task members, you can see right here, we are going to pass here the task ID because a task has many task members. Task has many members. And then right here, we are going to pass it right here. And then we're going to go ahead and get into, first of all, I'm going to try to change right here. I'm going to pass it task members. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the project controller. I'm going to pass here projects like this. I'm going to add right here the width, because I need to select some row. I'm going to pass it an array. Begin creating a model with eager loading when we want to do relations, and when we want to do relations. And right here, I'm going to pass here task, and I'm going to add here the work clause, and then we are going to display a list of tasks associated to a single project. Now let us check again, and right here I'm going to hit this. You're going to see, yeah, right now we are getting tasks associated to this project. School system, it is right now, it has 2 tasks. Now we need to get members associated to each task. You can see right now, this is the first task, create the UI. It is a task, and this task can be associated more than 1 members. We need to get that. And we got a second task, fix a bug in the API. It can have also more than 1 members. And then if we get into the task model, you can see right here, we got another relationship. A task has many task members. We are going to hit these 2, and we're going to see what we're going to get. And right here, I'm going to get into again the projects controller and add right here this relationship that I'm going to get access to the task table and then task members. Now let's try to see. Yeah, you can see right here, guys, we just display task members. You can see right here, this project score system, it has 2 tasks, and each task has 2 members. You can see this is the first task, create the UI. It has 2 members associated to this task, but also we got the second task, fix bug in the API. It has 2 members, the first member and second member. If we take a look at our DB structure, guys, you're going to see right here the task members table. Task members table is a relationship between the members table. Right here, you can see this is the members table. The members table, right? Let me show you. This is the members table right here. I'm moving it, and then there is a relationship between task members and members. And then we need to return the name of the member associated to a given task. And right here, what I'm going to do, here you can see, here I'm going to display here, I'm going to pass here another object that is going to return the name of the member. Because right now we are getting the ID of the member associated to this task. It's going to be better to display the name. I'm going to go again and get into the task members. And here I'm going to copy something right here. I'm going to pass within the task members. I'm going to say the task members has 1 members. And right here I'm going to pass here member, and then here has 1 member, so that we're going to get the name of the member. Here's 1. Guys, if you doesn't understand pretty well how relationships works in Laravel, let me know in the comments so that I can do a video that covered this topic. And then here, guys, you can see right here, we're going to pass here the foreign key is member ID. And then here guys, I'm going to get access to this function. I'm gonna go again within the project controller right here guys, project controller, and here you can see we do task, we get into the task members, and then we're going to each member method within the task members model. You can see within the task member we got a function member. We need to eat it via the task members table. And here guys, if we go again, take a look first to what we've done right here. You can see we just pass here member, and then let us try to refresh again within the browser. You're going to see right here we are refreshing, and then we are going to get another user. It seems you're getting an error guys. Let's say column not found, unknown column, members members ID in work close. Yeah, I see we are getting an error. They are making a select query. You can see within the members they are looking for the members member. We should pass right there the ID of the member, because within the members table it doesn't have the member ID. I'm gonna pass right here. I'm gonna get into the task member model, and then I'll pass here the ID, because they are making a join under the hood. And right here I'm not pass here, I'm gonna refresh again, and we are going to get our data. Right here you can see for the project school system we have a task create the UI, and this task has two members associated to it. And right here you can see this is the first member, and we have right here member ID, name, and email. We got a second task associated to this project. It is the member name John at gmail.com, but also we got the second task. This is second task, and a list of members associated to this project.